Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined by Red Boots Reiki once again and the owner, Annie Atwood. A pleasure to have you here today. How are you doing? And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. I am doing very, very well.
Great.
How
Pleasure
about
to
you?
have you here. I'm doing great. Thank you. On this special love day, right? Isn't Valentine's Day? Is it all about love, giving, kindness? I don't even know what Valentine even is. I mean, I know like the Cupid thing, but I don't even know the full meaning of Valentine's Day. Do you?
I think he was somebody in Italy a really long time ago.
Was it shooting like love into people's hearts or something?
No, that was one of the Greek gods.
Oh,
But-
okay. Well, I know it's supposed to celebrate love today, right?
That's right. That's right. And so I want to talk about, I don't know about you, but I think I have gotten, I don't know, over a dozen little emails saying, are you lonely? Are you worried about not having, something to do on Valentine's Day? What are you going to do on Valentine's Day? And it's kind of crazy because some people do have elaborate plans and some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
And both are fine, but it's that little seed that's being planted in your head by social media or the emails or
Mhm.
whatever, that if you don't have these grand plans, something's wrong. And I just want to go on record and say that's not true.
I agree. You're right.
Yes, yes. And part of the beauty of Reiki is kind of protecting your headspace a
Mhm.
little bit from all these messages that kind of come in and they stick.
Yep.
So I'm going to do a little imagery here. This is
Sure.
on the fly. I want you to think about one of those glass kind of ornaments that you would have, and you can see through it
Okay.
from Christmas. Okay. So on the outside of the glass or the outside of a windshield and the inside of the windshield, they are both something that you need to be able to look through.
Sorry. Speaking of look through, look, I lost my look. There you go.
We're back.
Things happen. That's
Yeah.
so weird. I touched the board and it just went off.
I know.
I'll
I
do it
like
again. Okay.
don't put my hands anywhere. So your chakras are kind of like those little globes, and you can have some, just debris that sticks to the outside of it,
Mm-hmm.
or debris that would stick to the inside of it.
Yeah.
So the debris that sticks to the outside is typically messaging from beyond, not inside of you. So it's what society says. It's some little bits of information that kind of embedded in you from what you were told when you were little. And then the debris that sticks on the inside is how you speak to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you tell yourself, I am a great person, I love my life, everything is great, the inside of the windshield is cleared, but you're driving behind that truck and all this dirt's coming up and sticking to
True.
the outside of the windshield,
Mm-hmm.
and you still can't see. So both sides need to be cleared in order to really radiate and let everything shine through. So what I'm going to teach you today is just how to clear
Okay.
the outside of your chakras so that you can dissolve any negative programming. And this doesn't happen all at once.
Mhm.
It is something that I do with my clients, and
Okay.
my clients report that they feel lighter. They are able to really
Okay.
let go. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're good. So a lot of this is just imagining. So we're going to imagine that we have our spiritual Windex, and we're going to work on the heart chakra first. A lot of times when I'm working with clients, we'll work either from the root chakra up or from the crown chakra down. But so much messaging comes in through your heart. And I've had cases where, people just report being heart heavy. It makes my heart hurt,
Yep.
and it just, you need to lighten it up. Ready?
Ready.
So you are going to put your hand over your heart. Let's see if we can do this without knocking your headset off.
Right.
And you're going to just let your hand feel warm. And when your hand feels warm, you are going to say, I choose joy.
I choose joy.
And visualize an enormous magnet just taking off a layer of magnetized dust. Then put your hand back on your heart. Again, once it's warm, bring it out, and that's like the magnet pulling off any magnetized ideas, words. Sometimes it feels a little not smooth, that are no longer going to impact you negatively. Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
It feels so hot. I never noticed that you can actually feel that, like energy, like whatever I'm feeling.
Yep, yep, that's energy. And that simple clearing of your heart chakra has given you more sparkle, more shine to navigate, and a little Teflon so that any ideas that don't support what you want aren't going to stick.
Okay.
Because it's not so much, I mean, obviously what we think of ourselves, we can definitely, have something to do, but there's a constant bombardment from, society, whether it's social media, whether it's, comments that are accidentally said, and we get defensive, like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. There's something wrong with me. And that's kind of is where our default goes, instead of, I like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So let's see where it goes. I remember when I started dating, I kind of went in with the attitude of, well, I like me. Let's see if our energy works together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always a great time, even if it wasn't a date that, it was a one-time date. We still had a great time, because just from the position of, well, I like me, I like what I'm doing, and let's chat.
Mm-hmm.
It comes off very different than, oh, I wonder if they're going to like me. What are they going to think of me?
That more
What if?
pure energy. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to go into the space of, I like me, I like what I'm doing, and I know not everybody's going to agree with me, and I'm okay with that. And once you realize you can be okay with not being mainstream, your life just goes a lot easier. Goes a lot easier. And then the last piece of this is looking at, okay, so your chakras, I visualize them as little globes, little balls.
Yeah.
And so you can go all the way around, right? There's a whole, it's circular. So when we look at, here's what I really am so secure in, and here's another opinion. that doesn't align with how I am, but other people feel really strongly,
Okay.
we call close the loop with love.
Okay.
So instead of trying to argue, oh, I'm right on this, on that, you know, the way you all are thinking is just so, not me. Just close the loop with love.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to prove yourself to be loved and valued. You get to be you, loved and valued by being you.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want people to hear that you don't have to prove that you're a good mother, a good student, a good athlete, a good this, a good this, a good this, because somebody's always going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you are at the top of your athletic performance, it doesn't stay, right? Because
Yeah.
you age out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to be valued and loved for you just by being you. All of those achievements that you have achieved are wonderful, and you have worked really hard for those.
Darn right. Yep.
But if you didn't have one of them, you are still loved. Nobody says, oh, I'm not going to love Annie unless she's, on top of her game sailing. I'm not sailing as much right now, so I'm not as good. I'm okay with that. It's the middle of winter in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's in Miami. It's warm down there. She gets to sail a lot more days. And just by doing anything, you get better at it. But I get to be loved just by being me. I don't need to prove who I am. I do need to work at my job and, meet expectations, but that's a little different. Meeting expectations is different than proving your worth.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to really keep that in mind, especially today when for some it's lonely.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's oh, the fake positivity thingy. Don't get me started on that. I don't think we have time. But it's okay to be sad.
Mm-hmm.
And as a society, we forget that feelings are very powerful
Very real. Yep.
and they're very real.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to, try to deny the heavy heart that can show up and does show up, good luck. But if you think about it as the parameters of your chakras are kind of like riverbanks, and when a whole flood comes down, a little creek, and it makes it like this really, really rushing
Mm-hmm.
creek, they are, a little not as defined as they are when it's just a normal one, but the water always goes down.
Yeah.
The water will go back down. And, our ancestors were pretty smart. They harnessed that and they just went with it. And sometimes rivers were really rushing and sometimes they were little creeks. And they worked with that. And when you're having your emotions, live them, let them come through. And again, pull off that layer of magnetism, because it's not the emotion,
Mm-hmm.
it's feelings of, for a lot of people, it's feelings of shame around the event.
Rejection or yeah. Mm-hmm.
And once you can demagnetize that, it shifts things in a way that you don't really notice until maybe that anniversary comes up again. So maybe you had an anniversary of sadness shame, getting rejected, whatever it was. And when you remember it, you're linking those two things. You're linking the sadness with those feelings of rejection. And when you can de-link them and just feel the sadness, it's a very different feeling. Because you're like, oh, yes, that was sad that situation ended. And that's a very different feeling than I was rejected, I was this, and often those are stories that we're telling ourselves. And for a lot of it, nobody else is really noticing. I'm sure that there are people all over today who are not having their expectations met. And the stories that they're telling themselves are going to have an influence on how cloudy their heart chakra is going to be. So if they're telling themselves, I didn't get the flowers or the whatever because, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that. And then it turns around, they, but you can also say, I had expectations and they weren't met. That makes me sad. And it's stating it without trying to outsource the blame. And then again, you close the loop with love. You say, yeah, my expectations didn't get met, and that made me sad. I send myself love. I honor my feelings. I honor the expectations.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean you were wrong to have the expectations. But when you can demagnetize the kind of those feelings of I did something wrong and take that away and just let that feeling go, just like the rushing river. The rushing river never feels like it's wrong or right. It just goes. And that's what energy does. Energy is never wrong or right. It goes. It's the stories we attach to our feelings that can have a really not great impact on us.
So for those listening, just to remind everyone, we're here with Annie Baker Atwood, and we're talking about energy healing. Today is Valentine's Day, full of love at Red Boots Reiki. Basically, you're telling us it's okay if we're alone. It's okay to love yourself. And just to remind everyone how we could reach you.
Come visit me, www.redbootsreiki.com. You can follow me on YouTube. It's under Annie Baker Atwood or Red Boots Reiki, where I give lots of 1 minute, very short Reiki to the rescue tips. My phone number's on there. My email's on there. Just come find me. And I am really good at tuning up all of your chakras. And really, it's kind of like a professional teeth cleaning, You can do
right.
some,
You just
but
reminded me I have
just
that. Yeah.
go in and can clean it up and really set you free from some of the constrictions that expectations have.
Yeah.
And we all have them. We all have them.
So for those of us alone today, don't have any big Valentine's plans, it's okay. I'm just saying, you go through social media, it's heart aching. It's like you see everyone looks so happy and so great, like who's lonely, who's not, who's what. Yeah, it's like it's okay to be alone. Trust me, I know. It's yeah.
And the other thing is, I definitely follow trends on social media, and one of them is kind of, I don't know how serious they are, but this whole idea of not being able to stay asleep. And so I don't know. I kind of really treasure that middle of the night time if I wake up
Yeah.
and I say, oh, this is a found hour that is just for me. I
Yeah.
can read a book. I I got up and vacuumed the other day. I mean, who does that? But that brought me joy in the moment. And then I spend, the designated amount of time, and then I go right back to sleep. But I choose it as,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't choose to wake up. I'd never choose to wake up. But if I do wake up, and don't drift right back to sleep, I wake up, I'll journal. I'll do some writing. I'll do some reading. I'll do some mindless scrolling. I mean, I'm not proud. I will read a magazine. And to me, it's this, found hour that I get to spend all by myself. And when you are a super busy mom, that seems like an unheard of luxury to be able just to have your own presence. And so don't knock it. Enjoy it. And it does recharge you. So don't worry about the lost hour of sleep.
Yeah.
Be recharged. And for everybody out there on Valentine's Day, you are a gift.
Yeah. Each and every one of us is unique, as different as we are. It's amazing just to even think about that concept. I'm trying to explain it to my kids. I'm like, I can't believe I made you. Like, how is that possible? But like, it's just so, it's a miracle. There's no other way to describe it. It's everyone is so
I
special.
know.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at them and go, okay, I kind of hear myself coming through here.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I remember Caroline was playing Peter Pan in her junior high play, and all of my teacher friends went, and even the ones that didn't know her said, oh my gosh, her mannerisms. So she looks very much like her father,
Okay.
but her mannerisms, they're like, that is 100% you. Just the way she tilts her head, the way she's, got her shoulders back. And watching her on stage, I was like, wow. So what you put forth comes back to you.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody has a fantastically relaxing day where you have expectations that are met. And if they're not, close the circle with love, because you get to do that and keep your heart happy and keep your voice happy.
And
be kind to yourself and others.
Yep, that's true. Oh,
I
I kind of
know.
like reclamped and like sad, but not sad, but like just feeling like, oh, I just feel life is such a great gift each and every day. And there's so many days that we're going to be down, we're going to be out, whether it's Valentine's Day, whether it's the next day, whatever, stuff happens, and then there's days you feel so good, and you got to remember the days you feel good, because there's always a place and time to go back to that. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. And if you keep a little just somewhere writing down what does feel good is I put them on my refrigerator on sticky notes. I'm a big sticky note girl. But one of them says, what are you doing when you feel best and where are you? And I'm always like, I'm in my kitchen. I love my kitchen. And that's where I feel best. What are you doing? And just keeping track of them by, was it something that you listened to? Was it something that you saw? Was it a certain smell or a taste? A certain, yoga pose or curling up in a chair with a book. What is it that can bring that wraparound of peace to you? And even if you can't actually do it, just thinking about it triggers the same calming hormones as doing it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Annie, we still got 3 minutes left. I don't want to wrap you up yet.
This is like a first.
Wait,
when have we ever ended
like,
on time?
I know. It's always, I'm sorry, we gotta go. This is great.
All right. So I'm going to run us through in our 30-second. Okay. Put your hand between your hip bones and say, I am fully present.
Fully present.
Under your belly button, I use all my senses. Above your belly button, I trust my gut. Over your heart, I choose joy.
I choose joy.
On your throat, I speak kindly to myself and others. In between your eyes, I use my knowledge. And then your hand goes over your head and you say, I let light shine through me.
I let light shine through me.
And that has activated all of your chakras so they can let energy freely flow through you, within you, and all around you. So that you are centered and can take the day and meet your own expectations.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Miss
Close the
Annie.
loop with love.
And how can we reach you if somebody wants to work with you? Would you mind sharing again best form of contact?
Redbootsreiki.com. www.
Perfect.
Check out my website. I had fun having the little logo made, so.
Wait, is it something new? I have to check it out then myself. I haven't
No,
been on it in a
we
while.
did it over the summer.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. It's the same one.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, like
Thank
the
you.
little boots, but yeah.
They're cute. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
All right.
Happy
you
Valentine's Day. And thank you for
You
lifting us
too.
up. And happy love yourself day more than anything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye,
Okay.
Annie.
Bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.